So, why Schneider Electric at GTC? What are you doing here?
Well, as you know, there's this thing called AI that's happening in the world.
Okay.
And really clearly, NVIDIA is at the center of everything that's happening with AI at the moment. And this event, it's not only about NVIDIA, but it's actually turned into an industry event where really we can meet with everybody about all the challenges that AI is presenting our industry and what are the things that we can do in order to help facilitate this deployment of AI, which is probably one of the greatest, disruptive technologies that's happened, at least in my career, and but it's not without its challenges. So it's great to get everybody together and talk about it. So.
That's very, very cool. And I know that Schneider is all over the sim-ready assets and beginning to make sure that you're Omniverse capable, and I love seeing that.
Yeah, well, it's important, one of the things that I always talk about is when you're deploying data centers versus AI factories, there's a big difference, which is when you start working at these density levels, which are 10 to 20 times higher on power per rack, your margin for error goes down. And so one of the things that's happening is you've always had digital twins in the market, but the level of capability that we need now is much greater because the margin for error is down. So now we need to have a reference design, but then we have the reference design. How do we take that, build one model, and then use all this intelligence off of that one model to see if the whole system is working? And the ability to simulate that before I deploy it, we think is going to be absolutely critical to facilitate the AI build-out that's occurring. So.
Awesome. So you've been working with Smart Spatial for a little bit right now. Yep. How is it helping you tell that story? How is that helping you actually communicate the reference design of the AI factories to your clients?
Well, and it's interesting because we started with working with Smart Spatial just to really help us tell our story, because it's very complex. These systems are big, they're heavy, and the technology that Smart Spatial brought was a great way to help our customers kind of walk through a data center, get a very detailed view of exactly what was happening inside that data center. So we started as a visual representation, and then certainly as we started working more closely with Smart Spatial, we realized they can help. There's the idea of a sim-ready asset is a key part to take something that's a visual representation, but actually turn it into a true simulation. And really, Smart Spatial's capabilities have helped accelerate our roadmap, and we're actually demonstrating that in the booth today,
right here,
where we've got sim-ready assets that we collaborated with you to help us accelerate our roadmap, and we're using it as a key part of our story, is that it's not just design and build anymore, it's design, simulate, then build, and it's not just a visual reputation, it's a full simulation, and certainly your help getting us the sim-ready assets.
Look, it's been amazing working with your teams. They're very, very bright and at the forefront. I love that, thank you very much. And for the future, how do you see this evolve? How do digital twins become more ingrained into not only the storytelling, but the simulation, and ultimately graduate to operations?
Well, yeah, and ultimately, look, at the end of the day, we're starting with reference designs, whether it's us or whether it's NVIDIA, we all have reference designs we're starting with. We need to take those reference designs, turn them into sim-ready assets, get them into a simulation, but then ultimately that needs to be living, because once the data center is deployed or the AI factory is deployed, future changes might happen, so you need to be able to continue to simulate in the future. So, and actually be able to use AI to help run the data center. And the digital twin is the common thread throughout all of those phases in our view. And when you look at our portfolio, we're in a unique position because we've got, from our ETAP portfolio, we've got power simulation. From our EcoStruxure portfolio is air simulation. From the Aviva portfolio is kind of process simulation of the liquid cooling. And Aviva is pulling all of that together into a unified engineering approach. So it's going to be not just something that happens once, it's going to be something that's really a critical part of the life cycle of the data center.
That's wonderful. Ultimately, it lands in the hands of the clients.
Ultimately, it's better for the client. That's what we're trying to do.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arthur.